So let's get into the controversies. Like I want because there's a lot of myths that you dispel from a lot of different people pushing a lot of different programs. I almost want to just do it as a lightning round, but like there's so many things that you talk about. One of the biggest ones that we talked about is how Arnold Schwarzenegger totally distorted, you know, everything related to building muscle and all that kind of stuff. Can you talk on that and kind of what happened there?
Well, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's the thing: Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think he was ill-intentioned initially, because from people I know who have met him, say he's the sweetest guy on the planet. So I don't think he did it to pull fast one on people. I think a lot of what he said he genuinely believed, but it was wrong. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, his idol was a guy named Reg Park. All right, Reg Park was one of the first well-known bodybuilders of the 50s and 60s. He was like the only one. Now, Reg Park looked to monetize bodybuilding. He was like one of the first individuals to ever do so. There were no magazines back then. There were no videos. So what he did was he wrote books. And he wrote one book called The Secret Multi-Set Training System. Arnold Schwarzenegger modeled his training after Reg Park. Arnold Schwarzenegger won competitions, became popular. Him and Joe Weider teamed up and marketed the hell out of bodybuilding. So everybody looked at the way he trained, and he told them, this is how I train. Was it effective? Yes. Was it unbelievably excessive? Yes. But it worked for him because he had the genetics. All right. So most Arnold Schwarzenegger, and eventually, when people are doing something that works, they're not going to change it. What motivation would he have to change it? So Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of the first physiques everybody was in awe at. And they were under the impression they could look like that too, as long as they did what he did. We didn't know anything about exercise at this point. Nothing. Nobody cared. So they started asking him what he did. He started, spreading his stuff. Joe Weider started coming out with magazines and articles about training in order to sell them supplements. So Joe Weider, he was the founder of, the IFBB and all the bodybuilding shows. His motivation was to use bodies like Arnold and these bodybuilders, have them tell their training regimes. So people would buy the magazines, read about their training regimes, and then order protein through the magazine. They were catalogs. They weren't magazines. They were catalogs like a Sears catalog that you could order things through. And the way they drew them in was through the articles of these impressive physiques. Now that's where most people got their training recommendations from, and then it stuck. It stuck forever. Yeah. In in the earlier 1900s, most of the strong men did single set training. Did something very similar to what I do. But when the bodybuilding community got popular, that's when they started doing all this other stuff. But also there was a movie that came out in the 70s called Pumping Iron. I think it was 1976, 1975. And it was like a documentary film that followed Arnold Schwarzenegger around and other top bodybuilders. And this is what really propelled muscles into, the culture. And for dramatic effect and entertainment value, Arnold Schwarzenegger exaggerated a lot. Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie, he created a character intentionally. He was said to have created this character because he was interested in getting movie roles. So he wanted to come off as this cocky, sly, type of guy. Well, the thing is, in person, he's not even like that. He's actually a sweetheart, and it worked. I mean, I've seen all of his movies, and so he exaggerated some things. He said, I go to the gym for 3 hours twice a day, blah 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 blah. He wanted to make the thing entertaining. He wanted it to seem unusual and crazy that he spends all his time in the gym. And yeah, it was all kind of made up for entertainment value. Whether or not he actually did that, who the hell knows? Um, whether or not his training programs are even his, who knows? A lot of times in the Weider magazines, they would just make up programs and stick a bodybuilder's face on it and say he did it. when it wasn't even his program. And they still do that to this day, by the way.